Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, saving neighborhood nature. In this show, we highlight efforts to help protect animals that make the Sunshine State unique, like the Florida scrub jay. Also, how to better coexist with this iconic Florida species. We visit an Odessa sanctuary with a history of helping the sandhill crane. Plus, we're learning about a new tool created to show us the potential impact of picking up plastic pollution. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. It's the only bird that lives exclusively in Florida. So its name, the Florida scrub jay, is apropos given its choice of habitat. It's been studied through the years and has quite the following of students, researchers, and citizen scientists. One of these supporters lives in Northport, so we stopped by to learn a little more about this bird and to find out what's being done to try and save this threatened species.
It's such a beautiful song. It's not like any other bird that you've heard before. It's so individualized and specific to this particular bird. The scrub jay is a threatened species, federally and statewide. It also is protected under the Migratory Bird Act. Because of that, there are specific guidelines. There's land management tools that are necessary, prescribed fire burns that are necessary, specific guidelines put in place to ensure the health and viability of that particular species. They are a bird of blue and gray colors. They're about 12 to 14 inches long. They've got a very strong beak, very similar to a crow, and they have very long feet, so they can hop around these scrubby flatwoods in order to get their food sources and to cache their acorns. They're a very friendly bird and extremely smart. I've got paths that I've opened up in order for to get in there, in order to provide open sandy patches, like I've done here. Very important. Right now we are within the city of Northport, Florida, in a suburban neighborhood, which is within the Florida scrub jay zone. I have about a 3.5 acre parcel that I'm having to work by myself, hand tools, to try and make the habitat more appealing to the Florida scrub jay. They require very specific habitat, which is in scrubby flatwoods, so to speak. I'm totally mesmerized every time I hear it. I can just sit for hours hoping to see a scrub jay fly by or come into my bird bath and just watch it. It just amazes me every single time. I've been working with the city of Northport for many, many years in order to put in place guidelines and protections for the Florida scrub jay. We now have a natural resources department within the city of Northport that has implemented a lot of protections for this particular species. You can't find this bird anywhere in the whole country, in the whole world. It's endemic to the state of Florida. You know, we've got them up in the central peninsulas. We got Kennedy Space Center for one, Archibald Biological Station. And then we've got in suburban areas patches. And because of all the fragmentation due to development, they're fragmented now, and hence you have these particular zones within these, local municipalities that have scrub jays. So again, there are federal guidelines, state guidelines in place. However, we can have a long discussion on the state and the Fish and Wildlife and the mitigation fees that you can pay just to develop. Is that really doing the species justice by saying, well, all you gotta do is pay this fee and you can develop your parcel? What they're doing is they're paying a fee to develop that parcel because it will impact the particular species. So with that fee, it then allows them to build on that particular parcel, which then moves the scrub jay out of that area to another location. Hence the fragmentation we currently are facing. Hence my opinion that is mitigation really the way to deal with this in a suburban and urban environment. There has to be some kind of way and some kind of balance achieved that just doesn't mitigate the species away and keep moving them and moving them and moving them. It is such a smart and friendly bird and such a family-orientated bird that it is worth studying, it is worth protecting. We cannot continue to just fragment the landscapes in the suburban and urban environments. We have to somehow achieve a balance of that. There has to be some kind of a balance achieved in the protection of this species in urban and suburban environments. They put specific guidelines and permitting in place. They put specific tree plantings in place that if you live within the Florida scrub jay zone, the builders must plant certain trees in order to support the species. So what is the alternative but to find, again, that balance with the population growth and the services that are needed to support that population? So we're continuously working to find a way to balance that. Actually, I work with the Northport Land Conservancy, and that is a nonprofit organization that is buying individual parcels in order to protect these parcels in perpetuity through conservation easements, so that we are not really fragmenting a whole family population within a specific area. And they've been very good in doing that and achieving that. It's a full process that really requires rethinking the way that things are being done. I'm optimistic because now that we have the Natural Resources Division within the city of Northport, it opened up their eyes to really see the species in a new way and realize that yes, certain precautions, guidelines, permitting procedures really need to be implemented in order to protect this species. It's never time to pump the brakes, never. That's how we wind up going to a zoo and seeing a species. It's not just the scrub jay. You've got the gopher tortoise, doing and dealing with the same overdevelopment, and having to relocate them either on-site or off-site. It's not just the scrub jay. It's never too late. It's never too late to achieve the goals necessary for the survival of a species, specifically the Florida scrub jay. It's never too late.
As Robin mentioned, there is a group who's been working since about 2020 to do more than just talk the talk. They're now called the Neighborhood Land Conservancy. Their mission is to acquire and permanently conserve neighborhood land in Northport and surrounding areas. Once the land is purchased, it is preserved and used for education and research about neighborhood wildlife, native plants, and along with trees and soil. In the 6 years since inception, they've raised $475,000 in public donations given by individuals, businesses, and other nonprofits. The money has been used to purchase 44 neighborhood land parcels. They've also received 14 more donated parcels of land to make the current grand total of lots 58. They received no funding from any city, county, state, or federal government entity. The organization says the land acquisitions have protected at least 35 gopher tortoises. It's also provided stepping stones of natural green space for Florida scrub jays and other wildlife. According to the Conservancy, more than 1,000 people are now moving to Florida every day, and hundreds to thousands of acres of land are being cleared each day, not just locally, but statewide. So time is of the essence to try and get this land protected. If you'd like to find out more about this organization and the work they do, log on to neighborhood-land.org. Coming up next on Animal Outtakes, a Florida icon in peril. We visit a place that's worked hard over the years to save these sandhill cranes. We'll take a closer look at their grassroots heroic efforts and learn how we can all help these prehistoric birds. That's next.
At Dante's Den Foundation, we let the dogs tell us who they are. We welcome our boarding friends with open arms and open hearts. When your pup spends time with us, we offer a personalized experience, from how they like to play to when they need to relax. Our staff is on site 24/7, and we honor dietary needs along with special requests. We do our best to make it a home away from home by providing a safe and comfortable environment. Dante's Den Foundation. It's a great place to be a dog.
Owl's Nest Sanctuary, we're 10 years old now this year. I'm a retired zoologist from Busch Gardens, so I've done this since I was 16. It's been a long craziness with a lot of volunteers and a lot of great vets and myself, and we got the property 5 years ago, which is a huge help when you get the amount of animals we do. Oh, sandhill cranes. So maybe 7 years ago, I had somebody on my team, and obviously we were getting them. They were hit by cars constantly. We're talking 3, 4, sometimes even 7 a week in all the counties we covered. When you're hitting something that is 5 foot tall, it's literally hitting your pelvis. So most of the time it's a separated spine, spinal cord, and pelvis, or the legs are compound fracture. You can leave some of these birds out rather than, literally we were all pulling them into bush. I felt like I was at bush constantly euthanizing cranes, and even Dr. Pete said there's gotta be a better way. Some of these birds we had to chase down, so they would have a broken wing that was maybe hanging, and it's not fixable because the bone's out or something, but we're out here chasing birds, stressing them out, and only to bring them in to euthanize. So believe it or not, here we are 7 years later, there's 179 birds documented by us with picture and address. Though they switch around, I know a lot of their injuries, a lot of the amputations, I can glance at it and say, yep, we know that one. Amputations, broken wings, missing feet, missing toes. These birds could stay out and still adapt and breed as long as people don't interfere. When people start feeding them because, oh my God, he can't find food, he's hurt, you change the personality, and guess what? It's illegal. So when your neighbors report you, which happens all the time, you'll have an FWC officer there citing you. The bird does not need help. They're omnivores. There's literally so much stuff in Florida, ranging from large insects to snakes to they eat baby birds, you name it. And so I know you think you're doing well, but in Florida, people apply the empathy factor for their pets onto wildlife, where that causes a problem, and sandhill cranes is number one. I have one imprinted right now in the Newport Richey area. It had a broken wing last October. Bird was fine. It went from people feeding it on the same, I won't say the street, to now it is at a strip mall, and there's a breakfast place and they keep feeding this bird. So my patience level is about like that. I'm gonna be calling FWC. I get calls possibly 6 times a day that somebody sees this bird, and I have to say the same speech. It's almost like people want you to bring it in to finish it so they don't have to see it, but they don't understand that bird, if they left it alone, can go breed. And our species does not migrate. So while you have out west, they do have hunting season for cranes. Ours is a subspecies, which means it's different genetically, and it only lives in Florida, and it does not migrate. So, and it is threatened now. So that means the more we keep hitting them, and we just had a family plowed over. I had to put down 3 colts in the last 2 weeks because of injuries. All of that, it's like a ticking bomb for this species. I say that it's probably more detrimental definitely than the gophers and things like that. They have to start doing something to save these cranes' territory, or speed bumps, or I don't know, but it's a tough one. But when people deliberately hit them, which we have seen personally, I don't know what that does, how that says what you are when you can hit a mom and a baby just because they're in your way. And they think they're gonna fly, and we try spreading that. They do not fly when you go up on them. They're not like a songbird that's going to get out of the way. They just stand there because they're not afraid of that car. They know they're kind of top bird.
Want your baby? Here, Mama.
And that's my team. Yeah, you can go find a baby crane that's separated. That was a Good Samaritan called. Oh my God, there's a baby crane. No, parents nowhere around. Those parents, they're walking miles all day. Those babies are supposed to remember to keep up with mom and dad. So when it gets screwed up, or sometimes they cross and spook, so one goes that way and then he goes. So the Good Samaritan called us, and she went over there and she goes, I know this pair. So, because she watches still every pair give birth over there. And she rode in her car till she found them, and when she found them, she got out and reunited them. We don't automatically pull. My team will do that for hours trying to reunite, because not only does it save us, it is what's supposed to happen. It's not, you don't want to just take it in, feed it, and then, actually, Tim Dillinger, the biologist, does not want us to do that. He wants special circumstances. He does not want us pulling birds. He doesn't want us even incubating eggs, because he doesn't want those birds imprinted in any sort of way, because that's what's happening. It just gets them hit and killed later. They're a bird that's intelligence level is up there, just like a wood stork is the same way. We have people that feed them. We have people that feed everything. I can't even tell you how many shorebirds come in here and puke up hot dogs and that. And I don't know why people feel that they should do that. Stick to your bird feeders and stick to your binoculars. I mean, everybody else, trust me, they know where to find food. But once you do that, that bird's coming back every day. It's forgetting to breed. It's forgetting what it's supposed to do. So you're killing it. You're killing the species.
Our goal is to teach all these people that are moving into Florida about our wildlife and what to do in situations that, if it requires their, them to rescue or call us, because a lot of people, they just don't know. They don't know what's going on, and a lot of times they end up making mistakes and trying to rescue animals that don't need to be rescued, or ones that do need to be rescued, they make mistakes that makes our job harder. And that's no fault to them, they just don't know, and a lot of times information can get skewed on the internet, so they do things that aren't necessarily correct. So these animals, they have more right to the land that we're on than we do, and we have to learn to coexist with them. You know, we can't force them out of their, their habitats just because we moved in and we have our own personal things that we want to do. You know, it's important to us, and it's important to our survival as humans to be able to coexist and keep that balance in our ecosystem, because if we don't, our whole ecosystem is going to collapse, and us as humans are going to end up struggling as well. So, especially with the sandhill cranes, a lot of times these guys are getting, they're by roadways, so we have to be very cautious of these things. And if you see something and you're not sure, it is good to stop and look and call somebody. Don't just pass it by because you think it's a wild animal. And some things, nature has to do what nature does, but a lot of times people are so busy, and this is no fault to people. We're all busy with our own lives, and it's hard to pass by something that may be struggling and we don't realize it.
This is getting to the point everyone does matter, because the numbers are not adding up anymore for the positive.
Okay, so how can we better coexist in crane country? According to the FWC, here are some suggestions. Never feed cranes. Cranes are less likely to hang out in urban areas if easy meals aren't offered. Cover or move vehicles so that cranes cannot see their reflections in the shiny surfaces. Windows or glass doors that the cranes attack can be temporarily covered so the birds do not see their reflections. And finally, let them dig for food, Cranes sometimes damage lawns while they dig for mole crickets and beetle grubs. You can look at it as the birds are a form of natural biological control of these common turf pests. Don't go anywhere. There's more animal outtakes coming up after the break. Calculating the impact of cleaning up. There's a new way we can all figure out how much of an impact we can make, one bottle cap at a time. Ocean Conservancy has launched a new online tool showing how removing plastic from shorelines can help protect marine wildlife. It's called a Wildlife Impact Calculator. It lets users plug in the type and amount of plastic collected from beaches and waterways to see how many marine animals could have been at risk if that garbage was ingested. Officials report an estimated 11 million metric tons of plastic enter the ocean each year, and more than 1,300 marine species have been documented ingesting plastic worldwide. The types of plastics include fishing debris, bottle caps, lids, straws, utensils, bottles, plates, balloons, bags, and much more. Plastic pollution can also lead to entanglement, microplastic exposure, and toxic chemicals, impacts that are not accounted for in the calculator. Scientists have created many models to understand how to address this crisis, and they all come down to three things: reducing how much plastics we produce, better managing and recycling the plastics we do use, and cleaning up plastic that gets into the environment. Since 1986, when Ocean Conservancy first launched the International Coastal Cleanup, they've mobilized more than 19 million volunteers to collect more than 400 million pounds of trash from beaches and waterways around the world, and all the while logging data and creating the world's largest marine debris database. For more on this massive effort or how to access the tools you can use to help, go to wildlifeimpactcalculator.org. And we'll be right back.
What happens to your pet if something happens to you? It's a tough question, but an important one. At Dante's Den Foundation, we offer a solution. It's called Lifetime Care, a way to ensure your pet continues to live the life you've always shared. It's a chance to determine exactly what happens to your beloved friend in the event of your passing. For more on how you can provide the kind of life your pet deserves, visit us at dantesden.org.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some engaging and educational encounters. Until then, thanks for watching. And citizen scientists. I didn't put the comma in.
I did though.
Yeah, well, I didn't.